Bama or Buckeyes? Who will slide into that fourth playoff spot if USC Trojans happen to lose that Pac-12 championship game this Friday night against the Utah Utes? Who will slide in? Bama or Buckeyes? That's the question here. And episode 100 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. This is episode 100, a recorded 100 episode. Thank you so much for all the support you have given us here at Peek Around the Corner in the first 3 months of this growing channel. Thank you so very much. And of course, in episode 100, who are we talking about? Bama, Buckeyes. Who do you think will get into that fourth spot if USC loses? Who do you think should get into it? Put your comments down in the comments section below the video. But before we get into this issue, please smash the like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. And subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so thus far. Let's get right into it. Here's Colin Cowherd this morning. He says, of course you put Bama in over the Buckeyes if it came to that. 2 road losses at the Horn beats getting embarrassed and physically dominated at home in your biggest game. Many Ohio State fans want their coach fired. Sound like a playoff team? Okay, I'm going to give you my thoughts on this. If USC loses, now I believe if TCU loses in the championship game, they're in regardless, unless they absolutely get their doors blown off against Kansas State. But if TCU loses a competitive game, and of course wins the Big 12 championship game, they're in. TCU is in. So it comes down to that fourth spot. If USC wins Friday night, of course they're into the playoffs. But if they lose, who will slide in to that fourth spot? Bama or Buckeyes? Colin Cowherd says a tweet here. He says, of course you put Bama in over the Buckeyes. That last part of this tweet, many Ohio State fans want their coach fired, sound like a playoff team. Of course, it doesn't matter what the fan base believes or how upset they are because they just lost the game. I mean, shoot, many Bama fans think that Nick Saban should retire after this season. So that is just Colin Cowherd just taking a shot at the Buckeye fans. The other part of this tweet, 2 road losses at the Horn beats getting embarrassed, physically dominated at home. Yep, I can see that. I can see that logic. However, both football results of the Buckeyes and Bama don't just stop where Colin Cowherd says in this tweet. It's not just about 2 road losses at the Horn versus getting embarrassed physically and dominated at home. Let's look at the results of what happened in these 2 football teams. First of all, Alabama. They blow out Utah State as expected. This 1-point road win against Texas, not all that great. Yes, it's a road win, but Bama should have beaten Texas by way more. I think they were favored by 20 points going in this game. This is not a real good result. Alabama defeats Monroe, blowout. Okay, Vanderbilt, blowout. Alabama blows out Arkansas. Alabama, close win against Texas A&M, who's not going bowling. Alabama, again, was a 3-point touchdown favorite. Not a great result. So you talk about winning games at the Horn, losing games at the Horn on the road. Well, what about these not-so-good win results from Alabama? Alabama loses to Tennessee at home. Not a bad result, right? 52-49. Tennessee did end up sliding here at the end of the season. Alabama beats Mississippi State. Blowout expected. Alabama loses to LSU. That's their second loss in overtime. Alabama, again, doesn't look good on the road. Barely beating Ole Miss. Alabama, Austin Peay blowout. Alabama blowout to Auburn. So they lose 2 games. Yes. At the Horn. That's the way Cowherd says it. Okay. But they also have very weak results against Texas A&M, against Texas, against Mississippi. Now, let's look at the Buckeyes. Good win against Notre Dame. Not a great win, but a good win, 21-10. Blowout win, blowout against Wisconsin, blowout Rutgers, blowout Michigan State, blowout Iowa. Very good win at home against Penn State, 44-31. A tighter game than expected. Terrible weather, Northwestern. Blowout win, then a blowout loss. Yes, that was embarrassing. The Buckeyes got pushed around by Michigan, and it was at home. But I got to tell you, looking at these two schedules and the results, I think the Buckeyes have the edge. I think they have a most definite edge against Alabama. If you look at the wins, if you look at the losses, they both blew out teams they should have, except Bama didn't, right? They didn't blow out Texas A&M like they should have. They should have beaten Texas by more than 1 point. I'm sorry. Those are not good results. That Ole Miss game, Ole Miss is sliding, and they were sliding going into that game. Bama barely won that game. I think there's a decisive edge. Buckeyes over Bama. What do you think? Put down your thoughts in the comment section. I'm going to add them all up. I'm going to post a poll later on my Twitter, Flug Empire. Take a look at that. But in episode 100, Bama, Buckeyes, we're doing a live show at Peek Around the Corner Tuesday night to talk about. We're going to have a real-time reaction when those rankings come out, because remember, Bama's not playing another game. Buckeyes are not playing another game. They're not in their conference championship games. So they're going to sit and wait to see what happens with USC and Utah. So we're going to know. We're going to know Tuesday night, tomorrow night, when those rankings come out, who's ahead of who. Will it be Bama versus the Buckeyes, or Buckeyes ahead of Bama? We're going to find out, because that shouldn't change for the next week that comes up after the conference championship games. I've got Buckeyes over Bama. I think it's a decided edge. I really do. They both won a bunch of blowout games, but Alabama should have blown out other teams on the schedule, and they did not. Two losses to Tennessee and LSU. Both teams not going to, or LSU's going to the SEC championship game, but with 3 losses. The Buckeyes only lost 1 game to Michigan, who's going to be the second-rated team in the country after all these rankings are done. Buckeyes over Bama for that 4th spot if USC should lose. Let me know your thoughts here in episode 100. Until next time, from all of us to all of you, please, you all take care of each other. Thank you so very much.